Howdy, Yellow Jacket fans. Carl Gurgis with Coach James Gage. And Coach, big comeback win after a season opening loss to Bastrop and against a solid 6A opponent in John Foster Dulles.
Yeah, really proud of the way our kids responded to the loss to Bastrop week 1. We felt like we did some good things against them, but we just made too many little mistakes that we felt like if we got corrected would give us a better chance to win. So we had a really good week of preparation, and we went over there, played on a Thursday night, which I always enjoy playing Thursday nights, and a little bit of rain early on, but it cleared out. It turned out to be a nice night. But yeah, just a tremendous effort by everyone, offense, defense, and special teams all around to get the shutout.
Well, obviously a complete team effort, obviously and defensively, 200-yard rushers in Bingham and Hernandez, so everybody contributed.
Yeah, no, it was a good night for us. We distributed the ball around really well. We kind of got off to a slow start offensively, dug ourselves in a hole, but our defense was able to get a couple turnovers early to kind of dig us out of those holes, and we got a score in the second quarter, went into the half up 7-0, and then we were able to make a few adjustments at halftime, and we came out and did some really good things in the second half and kind of put it away. But credit goes to the defense, for this win, because I think we had 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery. So we were, anytime you get 4 turnovers, you're going to put yourself in a position to be successful.
Well, I know you've got a lot of highlights, and we want to get into them right away. So let's get started.
All right, let's look at them. All right, let's look at them right here. All right, this first play we got is this was kind of our big play that sparked us a little bit. This was actually a 95-yard drive, 13 plays. This was the big play that kind of sprung us free. This is Drew Bingham running the weak side option there, pitches it perfect to Keegan Moore. He's actually in a great position, breaks a tackle, and then ends up getting about 25 more yards after the tackle. But really good job blocking there by Cameron Fobbs and Jeremiah Lewis. They do a great job. You got guys hustling downfield. The excitement on the sideline is there. So, again, this was a 0-0 ball game at the time, and this play kind of sprung us free. And after this, our guys kind of gained some confidence, and we were able to move the ball pretty consistently after that. So this was the first touchdown. This capped off that 13-play, 95-yard drive. We're getting pretty good. I say getting pretty good. We've been pretty good at the quarterback sneak. That's one of our better things that we do. We take a lot of pride in that. And, our kids, when we call it, they get excited about it. But Drew does a good job behind those big old offensive linemen up there. And Sammy comes in and pushes him from behind and gets him across the goal line.
Just going to say a lot of white in that end zone.
Yeah, it is, which is a good sign to see. So, I think that's – I don't know, Drew's. I think it was his third touchdown of the year on that play. So
I don't think I could probably make it, but I could give it a shot with that line.
You get behind those guys right there, you got a shot. All right, moving on. This was the opening drive of the second half. We were able to. We actually hit a big play, and we went a little tempo and caught them off guard, and we hurried up and snapped the ball kind of before they were able to get fully set. And Carlos Medina, he's a senior running back for us, gets his first touchdown of the year just on a play that we call smash. It's an old school power toss, and the front side of the line did a good job blocking down right there. Sammy gets a great kick, and once Chino gets the ball here in just a second, you can see he heads straight downhill and is able to get in the end zone. People say this was a 14-0 game there in the fourth quarter. This is Sammy Fernandez getting his first touchdown of the year right there. Just on an outside veer play. We saw a little soft bubble right there. He does a good job hitting it tight, hiding behind those blockers. Drew does a good job reading it and giving it, and he just breaks that little arm tackle. The next thing you know, he's in the end zone for a touchdown. But great double team at the point of attack right there by Zane Bailey and Aiden Villalobos. They do a good job coming off and doubling that guy and giving him kind of that lane to run through. So offensive line did a really good job all night in this game, and we felt like, as the game went on, they got stronger and got better and got more physical, and we were able to really run behind them heavy in the second half.
There's a lot of opening there for them, and of course, it's a lot of white in the end zone when the thing ended, too.
No doubt. So just great effort getting downfield, and again, just anytime you're doubling a guy 10 yards down the field, you're doing some good stuff. Moving over to the defensive side of the ball, here our defense again played phenomenal all night long. Three interceptions, forced fumble, but they tackled really well. This was their first drive. We gave them great field position. but we were able to get away with it right there. Chris Macias gets off a block, picked up his first sack of the season. There's Zane Bailey coming from the other side, putting pressure, forcing the running back to step up. And so when Macias comes off the block, he's got nobody else there to help protect. So, and any time we get a sack, you always got to give credit to the guys in the back end. And they did a phenomenal job, staying on top of their guy in the man coverage right there, not really giving the quarterback any type of quick throw to release the ball. But quarterback, unfortunately sprained his ankle on this play and had to come out the rest of the game. But, that's football, and our kids took advantage when the backup quarterback came in.
Well, it's like you say, good defensive coverage in the secondary, but 52, love that play.
Oh, no doubt. So he was fired up, but that kind of sparked up the whole bench after that. So just a good way to, number one, get them kind of back out of field goal range, but also just get them, behind second down and kind of threw them off track a little bit. All right, so this was one of our picks the other night. This is Cash Pallage. They try to go a little double move on him right there, but he did a good job staying disciplined with his eyes. He's watching his guy. He understands. He was taught to be patient, and so he didn't jump the bubble route right there or the little tunnel. He stayed on his guy and goes up and makes a heck of a play right there. They kind of tussled for the ball, and he was able to come away with it and got us a big turnover. This was second quarter, 7-0 game, and we actually went down. We missed a field goal right before half, but this was able to get the ball back to us and get us in a position to go down and kick the field goal.
Good pressure from the defensive line, and of course, as you say, he had him covered blanket-wise.
Yeah, that's Kyle Suggs just blowing through right there up the nose, and he does a good job getting pressure on the quarterback and forcing him. You can see he never really sets his feet, kind of throws it off his front foot a little bit, and just wasn't able to get enough on it, and we took advantage of it. So this was Jalen Peterson with the interception. This was second interception of the night. He does a good job just reading his pass coverage. He reads pass from the tackle right there, drops into the zone, and is able to get underneath the throw right there from the quarterback, and does a good job holding on to it. And so big play for us. You can see it was second and long, so we were able to get the interception and get the ball right at midfield right there and give our offense a good field position to go down and try to put points on the board.
Well, like you say, you see a lot of white around the ball to it all the time right now on these opening shots.
Yeah, they're doing a great job on the defensive side of the ball, running the football. They work pursuit every single day, and they do a really good job of getting their kids. The defensive coaches do getting their kids to the football. All right, this was the third interception. This was Caden Hodson right there gets the big hit. They kind of try to run a little slant inside or a little hitch inside, and Hodson expands and gets there right on time. Right as the ball meets the hands and hits the kid right under the chin and pops the ball up in the air. And that's Devin Mack on the receiving side of the interception right there. I asked Devin the next day if he knew that he caught it or if the ball just happened to be in his hand, and he said that he just looked up and the ball was in his hand, so he decided to run the other way.
Either way, an interception is an interception.
No doubt, and then the return behind it too. Gets him almost 20 yards on the return, so puts us in a great field position. We end up scoring this drive and really did a good job. Anytime our offense gets the ball on the 26-yard line, that's a huge advantage for us. And so tremendous job again by the defense creating a turnover. And then again, once we get the ball in our hand, you see the white shirts moving down the field looking to go block somebody. All right, this was our big special teams play the other night, or one of them. We were kind of backed up a little bit again. This was a tight ball game at the time, and James Keelan, our sophomore punter, he's also our backup quarterback. He hits it a little bit as far as he's supposed to hit it to the side, but it works out in our favor. It hits the ground and rolls. Ended up being a 60-yard punt. And so anytime you have a 60-yard punt, that's going to help your average out. And, we do a good job right there protecting, and he's able to get it off. And we're in a good position if the returner wanted to field it, but the ball took a funky hop on him. And when the ball bounced by him, Jalen Peterson does an outstanding job hustling down there right there. And covering up the ball and not giving them a chance to return it.
Well, you got 3 white ones down there versus 2 red ones, so
right.
It's not bad.
Yeah, and anytime we can pin somebody inside the 20, much less around the 10, it's a great punt for us. So a good job flipping the field and putting their offense in a bind backed up.
Well, what else can you happen to say about that? You pitched a shutout, 21-0. When's the last time Dulles has been shut out even?
I don't know the last time they got shut out. Our last shutout was 3 years ago to the week. We shut out Fort Bend Kempner 17-0. My second game here as a head coach, I was actually at home with COVID that night, so I had to watch from the recliner at my house. But no, just really proud of the effort that our kids put out there. Really proud of our coaches for the plan they put together. Moving forward, our kids have some confidence now, have some stuff that they can build off of, and anytime, it's like I told our kids the other night, anytime you hold a team to 0 points, I'm going to guarantee a victory.
With 2 100-yard rushers in Bingham and Hernandez, and obviously the team effort on defense was special, and special teams too. You could see it all the way.
Right. It was just a total team effort the other night, and really proud of our kids. And so we've actually got some players of the week that we'll get to here. That's our rushing leaders for the year right there. So through 2 games, Drew Bingham's got 184 yards and Sammy's got 117 yards. So through 2 games, we've kind of leaned heavy on those guys. And the beautiful thing about our offense is we're never going to have a 1,500, 1,800-yard rusher. We're going to have a 600-yard rusher, a 500-yard rusher, a 300-yard. We like to spread it out a little bit, and so through 2 games, that's pretty good numbers for those 2 guys.
I think too, when you look at those numbers, those are 5 and 6 yards per carry.
Right.
So that's not bad. It's not 2 and 3 yards. It's 5 and 6 and 7
right.
yards.
And our goal offensively is we want to get +4 yards every time we snap it. And so when you got guys like that are averaging, Drew was up over 8 yards, I think, a carry, and Sammy was over 5. You're doing some good stuff with them.
Well, Friday night we take on a tough 22 6A opponent, Shadow Creek, 7 p.m. kickoff at Memorial Stadium. Tough game.
Yeah, it is a tough game. Shadow Creek's got a lot of speed. They always do a good job coaching up their athletes over there and putting them in a position to be successful. And the one thing we preach to our kids though is keep it about us and let's go out and let's, no matter what the results end up this week, let's try to be better than we were the week before. And so we got a lot of work ahead of us, and we know that starting district off with a team like Shadow Creek
then Pearland.
And then Pearland after that. We've got our hands full, at the start of district, but our kids aren't going to back down, and our kids are going to show up, and they're going to be ready for a challenge.
Well, Friday night, 22 6A, Shadow Creek and the Yellow Jackets, 7 p.m. kickoff at Memorial Stadium. Good to have you with us
Yes,
today.
sir. Let's look at our players of the week from this last week. So our defensive players of the week last week were Jalen Peterson and Trace Martinez. Trace had a really good game, made a lot of tackles, had a lot of pressures on the quarterback, and then Jalen probably played the best game he's played for us since he's been at the high school. So really proud of both of those 2 kids. Offensive players of the week, Jacob Baez, our center. Sometimes the center goes unnoticed, but he played really well the other night, did a lot of good things, and the offensive line kind of went as he went. And he had a good night, and so we rewarded him with the player of the week. And then Keegan Moore had his best effort of the year too. So he had a couple big runs. I think he ended up with 7 carries for over 70 yards. So he had a big night for us and did some good stuff blocking as well.
It's always good to give those offensive linemen a lot of credit, don't you?
They don't get it enough, so we give it to them when we can. Ethan Evans was our special teams player of the week. He had 2 tackles on kickoff return that if he wasn't there to make the tackle, they could have been big plays for Dulles. So he kind of made 2 game-saving tackles on the kickoff for us, which rewarded him with the special teams player of the week. Our big play was the hit we saw a while ago. Hodson hit the kid and popped the ball up in the air to Devin, and he was able to return it for about 15 or 20 yards. And so that ended up being our big play because 2 plays before that, our offense had actually fumbled, and they had kind of had some momentum, and so that was able to get us the momentum back. And so just a good job again by Caden being where he was supposed to and Devin making the play when he had the opportunity. Our offensive crush, which is just basically our big hit on the offensive side of the ball, was Aiden Villalobos. He had a good pancake, as we call it, on the offensive side the other night, and really proud to see him on film getting after those guys.
Well, Friday night you take on Shadow Creek at 7 p.m. and then the following week is Pearland. You like to get the big ones out of the way, huh?
Might as well, might as well. And that's the thing about this district. It's tough from top to bottom, and we know that Shadow Creek and Pearland are two great programs. But you look at Manville, you look at Dobie, you look at Dawson. Our district is stacked with great teams, and so we know, yes, with Shadow Creek and Pearland coming up, but it doesn't get any easier after that. And I just hope that when people see us on the schedule, they're thinking the same thing. They're in for a battle.
Well, we look forward to seeing them Friday night, and of course then the following week over in Pearland. So thanks for being with us today, and let's go Jackets.
Thank you, Carl. Jacket pride never dies.